Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday, the 27th of August, 2025. It's a beautiful day outside. My thermometer said it was 68 degrees, but it was more like 74. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Must be the cloud cover. There is a little bit of cloud cover. There is a chance of rain today, believe it or not. It's low, 7%, but in our world, 7% could be a downpour for all we know. We did have rain yesterday. I don't know if you got any rain yesterday, but I had a meeting. When I got home from the meeting, it looked like my house had been rained on quite a bit. So I don't know if you had rain yesterday, but I hope you did, because we're in that rainy season, and I love the rain. Thank you for joining me this morning. I pray you have a blessed day. We do have a few birthdays today. We have Trent Coakley. Happy birthday, Trent. And Shelley Delsing. Happy birthday, Shelley. And Jeff Williams. Happy birthday to all three of you. May God richly bless each of you, and may you have a blessed day. Today is trash day, so I have quite a bit of trash out there this morning because why not? We've been kind of going through our garage trying to get rid of junk. We don't want our children to have to go through all that stuff, so we're kind of going through it ourselves. And it is there's just junk there. Some of it we're taking over to the thrift shop. Some of it we're taking to other places, but a lot of it's just junk. It's like, why even keep this? It has no value, no sentimental value. It's just in a box somewhere that has been following us around for 30-something years. So let's get rid of it. But not a whole lot of stuff. I mean, just things that you wouldn't think about that are, you think at some point. When you're young, you think everything's important. When you're old, you realize there's a lot of stuff that's not important. All right, let's see. What else? I think, so we've got birthdays out of the way, and I hope you have a great day. It is trash day. You might see the trash man go by during the podcast. All right, let's get into our study. We are in Leviticus chapter 19, and the Lord is restating the law to Moses and Aaron and saying, these are the things I need you to do. And we've been talking about how the law is not just a mirror to show us our sin, but it's also a guardrail that if you follow the law, the whole reason why God put the law in place is a guardrail to protect yourself from yourself. And they're very, very good ways for us to live as a society. And what I find interesting is that there are those out there who say we should not follow that the Ten Commandments are old. They prefer one religion over another, and so perhaps we should, if they're posted anywhere on any public property, we should get rid of them. A couple things. One is that all Western law kind of goes back to the Ten Commandments. So it is a foundational set of commands. They've been around for a very, very long time, so they're very good for a society to understand each other. And if you did not have the Ten Commandments, the argument is made that you can be moral without the Ten Commandments. But that is a specious argument, because if you look in the animal kingdom is brutal. The lion kills other lions. There is this sense of pecking order of all the animals, and there's somebody at the top, and the people at the top, the lions, are ruthless, and all they care about is their own needs. And if their own needs are threatened, they will easily kill somebody else. So I've heard arguments from people to say, well, I choose not to kill anybody else because that's my moral stance. I don't need a God to have a moral stance like that. But what if there was no God or moral stance? What if all this 4,000 years of Western tradition didn't exist? Would it be every person for themselves? And would we kill each other? And most sociologists would say, yeah. I mean, when push comes to shove, if it's your life versus somebody else's life, you're going to take somebody else's life first. I mean, that's just kind of how that works. And if there's no moral law or overarching moral law that says you can't do that, then you're not even going to feel guilty about it because your life comes first. And if you want to live together in a society under God's law, then you don't kill other people. All right. So we talked about, let's take a look at, this is verse 9 and 10. Let's see if this will pull up. Yeah, it will. All right. When you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap to the very edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest. Do not go over your vineyard a second time or pick up the grapes that have fallen, leave them for the poor and the foreigner. I am the Lord your God. So there was this sense, this is where it comes from, that there were poor people. There were people that didn't have food. And so if you had a crop, if you had a harvest, if you had a vineyard, then you would not take every ounce of food off of all of the crops. There is a diminishing sense of return. The easy stuff, you walk down the crops and it's everywhere. All the wheat is everywhere, all the grapes are everywhere, and you just go down. And if you did one pass through, you could probably pick up 50 or 60% of your crop. And then you go a second pass, and maybe it's about 30% because you have to work a little bit harder to get all the rest of the food. And every time you go through the crops, it's diminishing returns to the point of that last grain, you really, really have to work very hard at it. And it probably has no value to you whatsoever because the amount of time and effort it takes you to get that last stalk of grain is probably greater than what its value is getting it at a later time. So God put into place a provision that says, go and gather a good chunk of it, but then leave the rest of it for the poor people because their time is not as valuable. Well, how do I say this? I mean, their time is valuable, but they have more time available to them to go and glean and to get that food than the profitability of you going to glean it. It might cost you a lot more money to go get that last bit than a person who has no income. And I think it's a fair way to do it. I really, really do. And I am grateful that God put this provision in place. If you have any semblance of wealth in your life, you can be a miser like Scrooge and continue to squeeze every ounce out of a nickel, or you can use your wealth to help other people. I don't know if I'm saying this well, but I believe so. There was a time in American history when all the libraries and the hospitals and the schools and everything that was built was typically built by the wealthy class. And they were the ones that provided for their city or their country. It was kind of an expected duty that if God had blessed you with wealth, that you would then turn that wealth into the betterment of society. And our modern society has kind of turned that all upside down. And that's unfortunate. We end up with people who have hundreds of $billions worth of wealth. They have no idea how they're going to spend it. They can't. You can't give it away quick enough in order to the capital improvement process is so slow that you don't. It's impossible. This is what J.D. Rockefeller, John Rockefeller, found out when he ended up in the end of his life with just tremendous amount of wealth. He couldn't give it away quick enough. And if he gave it away too fast, it destroyed the institutions to which he gave it to because they expected it, right? It's just managing large amount of wealth is a hard problem. I don't want that problem, to tell you the truth. I'm perfectly fine just having what God's given me and living within that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't need extra levels of complexity in my life. All right, so leave a little bit for the poor. That's basically what that says. Leave a little bit for the poor. All right, continue on. Do not, this is verse 11, do not steal, do not lie, do not deceive one another. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, that's what God calls us to do. Jesus is all about the truth. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He also said, the truth shall set you free. You cannot get anywhere in society if you can't agree on what the truth is and The more that you are open and available to understanding and being shown the truth, the better off you are, because the only way that a society can live is by truth. And if a society does not live by truth, if it lives by deception, it will fall apart rather quickly, which is why I believe corrupt dictatorial societies that have existed over time always fail. Because if you are a dictator, then you're trying to control the truth. And once you hide the truth from people, once that truth comes out, the people won't trust you anymore. The people won't follow you anymore. Dictators constantly have to destroy people who might have the truth, because once that truth comes out, they can no longer be dictators. So that is just a universal truth. So a society has to, and I love it that that God put this in there. Do not steal, do not lie, do not deceive one another. Live for the truth, because God is truth. And that also has to do with the great command from God to be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth. The only way you can subdue the earth is to understand the truth about the earth. And so that's what all the scientific experimentations and everything goes towards, is to trying to find the truth. And the more we understand the truth, the better off we are. So you might spend your whole life being a research person trying to figure out the truth about one particular aspect of our universe. And you may never find the truth about one particular aspect, but you've worked on it. And that even of itself helps society out. The one great truth I think is still out there, or the one great scientific discovery, which is the same thing as truth, is inter solar system travel, inner star travel. Can we get the closest star, Alpha Centauri, is so far away it would take traveling the speed of light maybe 600 years to get there, something like that. It's impossible to get to with our current technology, with the truth that we know now. But I do wonder if there's a way to bend time or bend space and to be able to do those things, and how long it will be before we figure that out, if we ever do. And maybe there is no way to do that. And that's the truth too. But I kind of feel like it may, in my lifetime, I think we might have quite a bit of research in that area. And the reason why I say that is because there's all these AI computers that are being built. And AI computers, these large, huge computers, will pick up all the understanding of man, process it and synthesize it. And then it'll start going down paths of invention or hypotheses. And it'll test those hypotheses within the realms of the computer world. And it'll be able to do vast amount of research within the computer system, much more than we can. And who knows what innovations it may come up with. And the one that I just would love for them to figure out is the ability to travel to other star systems, travel to other stars, other solar systems. I just think that would be really, really cool. And it may happen. It may not happen. I'm just kind of guessing here, right? But it would be really, really cool. Because then life could expand beyond Earth. I know that there are people that want life to expand to Mars and some of the other planets circling the sun. And that could be something, I suppose. But wouldn't it be great to find another habitable planet somewhere out there in the trillions of planets and stars that are out there that we could get to in 30 minutes? Who knows? Who knows? All right. So I know. I'm just kind of being weird this morning. Let's go. Verse 12. Do not swear falsely by my name and so profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. So if you say, I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, but you are lying, then you are swearing falsely by God's name. And that is not good. God is very upset with you for doing that. 13, do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not hold back the wages of a hired worker overnight. This is probably, one of the ways that power works is that it can use that power to enter into agreements with people of less power that they normally wouldn't enter into, but because you have a higher position of power and they have a lesser position of power, they're willing to forego a little bit of what they would normally have because they want to be associated with you. This is what I also call the principle that the more power you have, it's like mass. You know, the more mass an object has, the more people are attracted to that mass. The same thing, the more power people have, the more people want to please the people of power. It's the old thing of how many times do you think that Jeff Bezos has actually bought a lunch for himself? Probably never, because there are probably thousands of people out there that want to take him to lunch, great lunches, and just to have access to him and his knowledge, his wealth, his company, or whatever. And so the more money you have, the more power you have. And so it is very, very easy for a landowner to say, well, I'm just not going to pay him until the end of the week. And what's he going to do about it? There's nowhere else he can go to. I have all the chips here. And what God is saying by this is don't use your position of power and authority over somebody else, because that holding of wages overnight may mean nothing to you. And it may mean everything to the person whose wages you're holding. If you have employees, you have to pay them on time, period. I don't care if you have to mortgage your house or sell your car or whatever it is. If you are a boss and you have employees, you must pay them, period. There is no other way. If you can't, then you have no reason running a business. Because you don't know. It's even like in the Old West. The punishment for stealing a horse was, death. Well, it seems kind of an outrageous punishment, but that horse may mean life or death to the person that owns that horse. You don't infringe upon the rights of those people whom you can, because it's simple and it's easy for you. No, you must defend the poor and treat them well and pay them well and do the things that they deserve, because they most likely are living paycheck to paycheck. And when people are that way, they need the money when it's supposed to come in. Do not hold back the wages overnight. Pay them that day, period. And besides, you could die. And then you go into the whole idea of, well, how do you get wages from a dead person, right? So no, be fair, do it right. Verse 14, do not curse the deaf or put a stumbling block in front of the blind, but fear your God, I am the Lord. So this is interesting. Now, this isn't in the Ten Commandments, but do not curse the deaf or put a stumbling. So obviously they had deaf and blind people back then. And perhaps the whole society would rather that deaf person or that blind person be gone than have to be dealt with. But they're part of society too. They're part of the fabric of the tapestry of that little community. And yes, it's unfortunate, but it is up to the whole entire community to be responsible for the deaf or the blind. And we do this here in the United States. I'm sure that if you're deaf or blind, there's probably governmental programs that you can access. I think there's certain schools that you can access. There's all sorts of things that you can access if you have these particular disabilities. And I believe that a fair society should do that. Obviously the next, if you're not going to do that, then they beg on the street or you get rid of them. I mean, they have to eat, they have to sleep. And some people, even if they're deaf or blind, have incredible value. They all have incredible value, but they can demonstrate a value that you can see that beyond what you normally could see. I mean, look at Stevie Wonder, who has an incredible ability to play music, and he's blind. Treat the poor among you, the disenfranchised in front of you well. And it all goes back to here. society is only good as it treats its weakest link. I don't know who said that, but there was somebody that said something like that. A society is only as healthy as it treats its weakest link. God is encouraging the Israelites to be a healthy society. Verse 15, do not pervert justice, do not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly. This was eventually, when the prophets come along, this is what most of the prophets write about. Because the people with power would always take advantage of the people without power. And it still happens today. The people who have no power are always going to get trampled upon. God says, do not trample upon the poor. Do not show favoritism to the rich, but judge everybody equally. Our whole United States legal system, jurisprudence, I don't know. Our whole legal system is based upon blind justice, that you just look at the facts, and wherever the facts take you is where you go. The problem is there's no such thing as blind justice. As much as we talk about it, as much as we would like to hold that as an ideal and should continue to hold that as an ideal, if you've ever been sued or have sued, you know that justice is very, very hard to develop and determine. And you may think you're 100% right and the other person is 100% wrong, but when it goes before a judge, he is looking at it as a way to hold society together. That's basically what he's doing. And trying to be as honest, but also as fair as possible. And Solomon was a good judge and did well. He was, what you don't want is a society that falls apart because of the judgments that are made. That truly is, I think. The older I get, I used to think it was about the facts and the figures and the things in the case. But the older I get, the more I realize that those judges are there partially to look at the facts and judge the case, but also partially to try to keep the piece of society held together, the fabric of society held together. All right, verse 16. Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Do not do anything that endangers your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. Do not hate a fellow Israelite in your heart. Rebuke your neighbor frankly, so you will not share in their guilt. So these are they're almost proverbs. Like, it will go well with you if you don't spread slander among your people. Do not gossip, right? That's the same thing. Don't gossip. Don't do anything that endangers your neighbor's life. Don't do something so risky that it could cause your neighbor to die. And don't hate your fellow. Love everybody. Love oversees a lot of things. If you can simply love, see your neighbor as a child of God and love that neighbor as a child of God, you will do well. And then the man comes to Jesus and says, who's my neighbor? And Jesus says, that's the wrong question. The question is, what does it mean to be neighborly? And to be neighborly means you sometimes reach out beyond your own comfort zone and help out when it's necessary because you have the ability to do that. The story of the Good Samaritan. All right. I think we'll end it there. I could speak all day on all of these things, but we got to get through this. So I will end it there, and let's close in prayer. Gracious God, thank you for this day, and watch over us and keep us in your grace. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so thank you. Let's see, go over here. Thank you, all of you, no rain here, for joining me. I pray God richly blesses you this day. And let me go over to here then, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.